Welcome to the Autoblog Tokyo Motor Show special live edition. Joining me today is John Snyder. We're going to talk about everything that happened at Tokyo, all of the coolest reveals, all of those great concepts, the EVs, and of course, underlying themes of the show. It's a big deal. It happens once every 2 years. Let's get started. I'm pumped.
Yeah, it was a good show. Lots of stuff happened.
Lots of stuff happened. Let's get right into it. Yeah, I mean, some over trends, I think, that were, you couldn't help but notice them. There were just so many EVs.
Yeah.
And a few crossovers, some sporty things.
A lot of autonomous cars. That's a big trend right now at the auto shows.
Very much in line with what we saw at Frankfurt,
Yeah.
only at a smaller scale.
Yeah. Yeah, this one was a lot heavier on Japanese automakers. It's their market, so they are the ones who come full force at the Tokyo show.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things too where like the Tokyo show is kind of, its prominence has gone up, and I think it came back down for a while. Now I think it's kind of hit this plateau where, the Japanese manufacturers are definitely, they play it strong in their home market, but not really anybody else does. Detroit wasn't there.
Right.
The German car makers had a presence, but they didn't really reveal anything significant.
Right, it was a lot of carryover from the last shows. It was just
Right.
their Asian reveal of
Right.
these different cars.
It's a cool show, though. I went a
is.
few years ago, and it's it's awesome. If you're an enthusiast, this year one of the big themes, of course, was design. Like
Yeah.
most of the significant things we saw were concepts that were trying to make some sort of design statement.
Yeah, some of the cars, they didn't even go over the mechanical specifications. They just focused on design and technology. So.
Absolutely. So if you're watching at home, taking a lunch break on the East Coast, you're just hitting your desk and you're ignoring all those emails on the West Coast, please let us know what you think. Send us some comments on Facebook. We want to hear from you. We'll read them on the air. We want to engage with you. Tell us what you're thinking. Just some of the big highlights so far, and we will have our official awards coming up at the end of the show, so you got to stick around for those. But just some of the highlights of the show so far. I really liked that Honda Sports EV concept.
Yeah,
pretty cool looking.
That was a popular choice. Toyota had a whole fleet of different concepts.
Absolutely.
Some good, some kind of boring, but they really brought it.
We saw the new Evo.
Yep, the new Mitsubishi Evo. They're looking like they're trying to make a comeback.
It's, I don't know. It was interesting to see them roll out that name. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. Mazda may have had the strongest overall,
Yeah, they had two beautiful concepts there.
Beautiful concepts. It was, I think they really were like, hey, we're going to try and own the show, and, two different concepts that, really good looking vehicles.
Yeah,
Nissan was strong in their home market. Nismo Leaf, something we've been waiting for.
Yeah. Yep, I'm excited about that one, and it looks pretty, production ready. I mean, and it's pretty realistic, I think. I think automakers need to sort of embrace the sporty side of EVs. BMW started to do it with their i3. They're doing the i3S, and now the Nismo Leaf makes sense. And that's another theme sort of for the show, was just sporty EVs.
I was a big fan of the Subaru concept. They called another one the Visiv. This is a performance version. Might be the next WRX. I hope it is. Looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, so let us know what you think of all these concepts. That's one of the cool things about the Tokyo show, is so many concepts. These are great discussion points. Car companies want to know what you think. That's sort of like the secret behind concepts, is they really do, they read what we write, they read the comments of what we write, and if something looks terrible, then they're like, maybe we shouldn't do that.
Yeah, the auto shows are a good chance for them to get a lot of honest feedback about their ideas, and they still have time to make changes before it comes to production too. So,
cool.
Yeah, and there were a few problems in Japan that were sort of looming over this show. There was a typhoon. But that doesn't happen for every auto show. A typhoon is a problem.
Yeah,
it mostly spared Tokyo, but Japan took a big hit. There was the Kobe Steel fiasco. Cars for years now have been getting metals that are the quality has been falsified.
Yeah,
so that's
big deal. Aluminum and steel. You need those for cars.
Right. And then Nissan's got its production stopped for inspections. They had they were not real technicians, not certified technicians inspecting the cars.
Wow.
So yeah, that's just for the Japan market, though. Luckily, it doesn't affect us here in the U.S. But again, that was weighing heavy on the show, I think.
Don't forget Takata, the scandal that literally never ends.
Takata's still lingering.
It's lingering. I actually just got a recall notice in the mail the other day for an airbag on one of my personal cars. So, and I fixed one like 2 summers ago, and now the other airbag is being recalled. So it literally hit home. So it's frustrating, you know.
Yeah, but I think this show sort of gave the Japanese automakers an opportunity to sort of show their direction and sort of turn that ship around. So
yeah, and I think they did that. I think it was a very strong show overall. As I look top to bottom, a lot of cool reveals. Let's break it down.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Best looking one. You know, we're going to kind of pull out some standouts here. Just to be clear, these aren't our awards, but these are, you know, John and I talking what we think the best looking one is. I think, you know, we agree on this one, the Mazda Kai.
The Mazda Kai, yeah. It's just a fantastic design. You know, if it previews what the Mazda 3 is going to look like, I love it. I think the Mazda 3 is already a good-looking hatchback, but they just have been killing it with this Kodo design.
It's been almost like the better part of a decade now, right? I mean, and it's gone through different iterations. What I like about the Kai is it's like a smooth look. You know, it's clean. You know, Kodo has changed at different points, and I think this might be the best execution of it yet.
Sure, and it's interesting. It's got angles and curves, and they sort of play together nicely. I really like it. Now, if they can make the interior look as good as the exterior, that'll be important.
That's a challenge. Some of Mazda's interiors have not been so great. You know, if you drive a Mazda 3 today, you know, you get inside and it's fine. It's okay. You know, it's not the best.
They feel like rental cars to me, personally. I mean, just the quality, you know, it's lacking a little bit, but hopefully, you know, they've got the designers working on the exterior. They can take some of those design cues and put them inside and make a big difference.
The only issue I would see with this is right now gas prices are low. Mazda 3s are not necessarily the car people are really flocking to.
That's correct, yeah. I mean, trucks and SUVs right now are still super popular, but you know, they'll
come around.
There are hatchback loyalists, so I think Mazda 3 can do good, and especially if gas prices go back up, it could be a winner.
You know, I think the only issue I have with this is it's going to obviously be. I think it's fairly close to production, but it's also like they gotta like improve the visibility. Like parts of it are just like so not practical that it's almost like unfathomable. You know, but that's cool. It's a concept. That's what you do. Is you take risks with them. So
yeah, I hope some of it stays through to production. It's definitely the showstopper.
That front end, like with the that low fascia, the grille, the headlights, that long hood, it's sweet looking. I mean, if I could drive a car home from the show, this might be it.
Yeah, and the Vision Coupe also looked fantastic. Those are, I mean, Mazda really just stole the show with those two designs.
Smart move, yeah. Speaking of driving home from the show, if you could drive a car home from the show, what would it be?
I picked the Toyota HV Sport. It's sort of like an 86 with a Targa top.
Sounds cool.
And a hybrid powertrain.
Yeah.
So it looked, really fun to drive. I love the 86.
Yeah, who doesn't? So
yeah, if you put a hybrid motor in there and keep the fun to drive aspect and I thought the matte black was kind of cool too.
Yeah.
And it's got that shifter with the ignition in the shift knob, like sort of
that's
James
cool.
Bond car. So
very sweet.
Yeah.
I love the headlights on that car too.
Yeah, they're interesting.
It's
that is actually one of the things I wasn't thrilled about with that car.
Okay. In spite of it, you still picked that. Okay. So for mine, most fun to drive, I said the Kai is almost the one I would pick, but the one I really would just love to drive home is the Yamaha Cross Hub. It's just so cool looking. I'm really into trucks and off-roaders and like all sorts of like SUVs lately. I don't quite know why. It's this phase I'm going through. This is, it's sort of like a utility vehicle. You could maybe take your bikes to the trail, that sort of thing. just throw your whatever surfboard in there, put your dog somewhere in it.
Right.
It's not very big, but
Yeah,
it's just
not
so
super
cool.
huge.
You know?
Yeah, I think I kind of like the size of it. I think trucks, my biggest problem with them is I don't like driving them because they're too huge. So something like this might be a little bit better to drive.
I've really been, you know, like Chevy Colorado, you know, Toyota Tacoma. I've just been really into that sort of size truck lately.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, way smaller actually. But
looks like it.
you know, I don't know. I wonder if Yamaha will do this. Like, if they did, I could see people buying this. Like, to me, the whole market is going to a place in the next probably 10 years where people are going to be less, I think, company loyal, and they're going to start looking at individual products. And something like this, you know, you might look at it and you're going to say, I don't know, do I want to buy a Yamaha pickup? I don't know. But then you look at it and maybe it's priced right, fits your lifestyle. You know, who knows? That's how Yamaha could get like a niche in the U.S. market.
And I think they might have some customers lined up from their own pool of bike riders. You know,
Yeah,
if
exactly.
you own a couple Yamaha motorcycles, you might just consider it. You might already like the brand and might want to get the truck to go along with your bikes.
Exactly. And if you are a rider, if you like all the hot motorcycles, we're just going to kind of touch on those on a high level on today's show. Head to Autoblog. We got them covered exhaustively, obsessively, any other way you can cover them. We did that. Check it out. Cool looking bikes there in Tokyo, as there always are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's move it along to most realistic. We went way different here. You think you're thinking Nissan?
Yeah, I think the Leaf Nismo, like I said before, is looking ready for the market. You know, they don't have to do a lot to the design, and they just have to uncork some of the power, and it'll be more fun to drive. I don't think they're going to go crazy with it, which I hope that someday they have like a hardcore Nismo Leaf. But I think this one will be sort of practical, a little bit more power, a little bit more better handling. So I think, yeah, I think it's, I really like it. I like the look. I like the concept. I would consider owning one if it were available. Okay.
So you saw the Nismo first on Autoblog about a month ago. We had these renderings, and they look exactly like the car. So Andre, he's our sort of in-house renderer, if there is such a thing. He works remotely in Spain. It's awesome. And he just nailed that car.
Yeah,
and
he did.
It looks almost like it, except for the color is a little bit different.
Yeah, he went with the blue color, and they did the classic Nismo red. So.
Right. My only thing, here's my question to you. Do you think this is watering down Nismo? A Leaf Nismo? I mean, I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I think they need to do it. I think people want performance EVs. This show is evidence of that.
Absolutely.
And I think, yeah, I mean, it's maybe a little bit. It's not as hardcore as it could be, but I think it makes practical sense. This is, if you're going to start selling a Leaf Nismo, this is a good place to start.
Totally, I agree. And I'm going to go down a totally different route here. This is actually, the concept is not all that realistic, but when I look at the Subaru Visiv concept, the latest one, I really think they're going to take cues from this and make it into the next WRX. I think it looks really sharp. We've seen previous Subaru concepts, and usually what happens is a year or two later, they like bring it all full circle, and you're like, oh yeah, that did look like that concept.
Yeah, always at first you're a little disappointed because it doesn't look like the concept, but then like the next generation, it sort of catches up with the concept car.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see this being, you know, sort of true to life, but I don't know.
It's all right. Like I said, I'm being a little crazy here. It's not, the concept is not that realistic, but I really do think on, say, the next Rex, you're going to see some of those maybe fender flares, the hood scoops, some of the exhaust treatments. I think that grille with those sort of angled headlights, that would be a sweet look for like Subaru sedans in general. So I would love to see them do this.
Me too. Yeah.
Let's hope they do it. But wah-wah, there were some disappointments.
Yeah.
Biggest disappointment, where are you going to go with?
I'm going to say the Lexus LS Plus concept.
Yeah.
I didn't like the look of it. They took sort of the design features that, you know, are most controversial and emphasize them, which is the grille.
Right.
That spindle grille, it's gigantic. And you know, the tech just wasn't that inspiring. It's basically sort of like Tesla Autopilot. It's you know, adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist. It'll drive for you, it'll change lanes and pass cars, but you know, it's just on the highway, so nothing groundbreaking there.
I'm with you. It just, for me, it was like overdone in certain places and then underwhelming in others. You know, the Lexus LS looks pretty good right now. It seems kind of like, and it's pretty new. Like, I just don't quite get what the idea behind this concept was. The best thing about concepts, though, is if they're not great, you basically forget about them, you know? So
yeah, they can take it a different direction if they want.
I think that might be a wise move, actually. I was psyched about this car, and like the front and the rear, there were just all these like lights and angles. Just like, what is going on here?
Yeah, at least the tech was realistic, if not, you know, super impressive. So it's nice to sort of get a taste of what is actually coming down the pipeline, but you know, it's not fully autonomous like the other car. I mean, we might be getting a little autonomy fatigue, but
right. I think too, you're at this point now where like every concept has autonomous and has some sort of electrification. That's great.
Yeah.
The issue becomes though, like we don't have the legislation, we don't have the infrastructure, and I don't think we have consumer acceptance. So it's like, literally they're just checking the boxes, then doing these crazy concepts.
Yeah.
And not just Lexus, everybody's doing this. I fully expect some mid-engine Corvette to have like autonomous driving and electrification because it seems like that's what you do for concepts.
Yeah.
I hope they don't do that. But yeah, I don't know.
One thing I do like about this car is the side mirrors, using the cameras. I think that makes a lot of sense going forward. They've started putting cameras in the rear view mirrors of cars, and I think it looks great. Get a very good, crisp view of what's behind you. I think if they can do the same thing with the side mirrors, you know, it'll make the cars more efficient. There's
Absolutely.
less, you know, less air.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good piece of technology. I don't think it's been approved for the U.S. yet. I know Japan recently approved side mirrors cameras, but yeah, I think it's a good piece of technology that they should really consider making legal here.
I agree. I think that could definitely, you know, improve your daily life. You know, it's good stuff. And that's what we think. Here's what we want to know is, what do you think? You should be weighing in on Facebook, and hopefully you're following along on our live feed. Let us know what you think. We'll read it on the air, all that good stuff. But John has compiled some of the most hottest takes, hottest comments from our posts.
Yeah.
I love these. This is great.
Yeah.
If you ever thought, hey, I'm going to make a comment, then go hide, wow, you're on the air right now. So let's have it, John.
Well, let's start with the Subaru Visiv performance concept. Again, talking about like the design and how it ends up looking in production. Woodles said, remember the WRX concept? Again, talking about like the...
Go ahead, sorry.
Woodles says, remember the WRX concept they showed in 2013 and what the production version looked like in 2015? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Ooh, that is a sick burn.
And then Scorch said, 2-foot-high wing on the trunk or GTFO. So, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I think the wing is and gold wheels. It needs gold wheels too. So
I think I agree with that, actually. That's kind of spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are cool.
And then the Mazda Kai concept, we got some comments on. D Felix 70 said, "Dear Honda, this is how you dynamically style a hatchback. Thank you." And there was, you know, there was a lot of agreement with him in the comments there. Randy Ross says, "Kudos to Kodo Design. There's so many things I love about this Kai car. The awesome split panoramic sunroof, the Jaguar-esque tails sporting an eyebrow up, a la The Rock.
Wow, I didn't see that, but okay, sure.
A sleek family resemblance to the already beautiful CX-5 and CX-9.
Okay.
Seems suspiciously close to being a production-ready Mazda 3, save for a few fanciful bits, doors, door handles, mirrors, etc. If it doesn't get too watered down by the time it hits the streets, take my money."
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Strong, hot take there.
And yeah, again, a lot of agreement, even in this office, with that comment. So. Next was the Mitsubishi E-Evolution concept. as an '06 and 2012 owner, this is so upsetting. They're talking about the original Evo.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there, man.
I will never buy this or care to give it another look. Hope you are glad you killed my favorite track-ready car to produce this electric junk. Strong words.
Strong words. Shots fired.
Yeah, not everyone agrees. But yeah, that was sort of a theme in the comments. Picture the GTR going away. This is from Evo. Picture the GTR going away for a few years and coming back as an SUV. This is ridiculous. Surely someone in marketing could have come up with another cool name.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a cool name. He signed it Evo,
yeah.
he or she, so that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Evo is definitely a point of consternation for this show.
Yeah.
People aren't looking past it as a concept. They're like, oh, it's an Evo.
Right.
You know, it's
right.
a lot to live up to. Names and heritage, it means something. Nostalgia is a powerful thing.
Yeah, the name sort of gets in the way of what they're actually trying to do with the car. But
let's put it this way. Would we be talking about this if this were just the Mitsubishi, you know, Eclipse 3 or something?
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably wouldn't, you know?
Yeah. Lotta 1200 says, the Evo sedan is dead, whether this exists or not. I don't mind.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. I like his name as well. Lotta 1200.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
Moving on to the Honda Sports EV concept.
Also controversial.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of positive feedback, though, for this one.
Yeah.
For instance, I sure would like to see this less is more design aesthetic spread to their gas-powered production line. That is from Rusty Shackelford. And
okay. All right.
And, you know, I agree with that. Some of these concepts are overwrought. Sure. And yeah, this one was pretty simple and you know, attractive. Cool. Gin Tonics says.
There's someone near and dear to my heart.
Says, love it. I see glimpses of the late 1970s Scirocco with Honda flair.
Okay.
And you know what? The urban EV concept from Frankfurt sort of had that retro look, almost.
That was cool.
Almost akin to Volkswagen. Like it almost looked like a rabbit. So.
Cool.
And then Henna Dank said, I just want one question answered in the affirmative, and that is rear wheel drive.
Is it rear wheel drive?
They didn't say.
They didn't say. That was like the theme of the show. Is here's this awesome concept, and we're not going to tell you much about it.
Yeah, but that'd be cool.
That was cool. That would be
rear wheel
cool.
drive EV. That'd be fun.
Yeah, sign me up.
All that torque to
all
the
that
back
torque.
end.
You would on a cold fall day like today, you would be breaking some tires loose. It'd be pretty sweet. So that's what you think. Taking a few user comments here from the interwebs. One of, let's see, we've got someone who'd like to know, why don't the Detroit car companies show up for this auto show?
Yeah, it's just they don't really have a presence in Japan.
Exactly.
People aren't buying American cars in Japan, they're buying Japanese cars. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Yes, there's global coverage for it, but you know, this is really for the Japanese market.
Absolutely. I think we're seeing, too, a trend where, like, car companies go to the auto shows they can win at. Yeah. You know, and for Detroit, that's Detroit. And it's also Frankfurt and Geneva on the global stage. It's not so much a market where, you know, they don't sell very many vehicles. So it doesn't make sense to really sell them there. So that's why. Another person wants to know how realistic the Visiv concept is from Subaru. Well, you know what I think. I think they're going to do it for the WRX. What do you think, John?
You know, the jury's out on that one. Joel Stocksdale, our editor, wrote a really good piece about this exact thing.
Check it out.
Yeah, seeing where it'll go with the design into production. So, yeah, I think a lot of people are holding back faith that this will, you know, look like that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not stopping believing there's Subaru. You gotta do it. You gotta deliver. It'll be a journey, if you see what I'm saying there. We're gonna move on though to CARGUMENTS, where we've got two SUVs, two crossovers really. We're gonna debate them. The Evo, of course, we knew we'd be talking about the Evo. The E-Evo is really what it is. The E-Evolution versus the Nissan IMX. And both were cool in their own way. I think, you know, so the tough question here is which one's better, which one did more for their brand, and my position is that the IMX, I think I'm saying that right, it's such a strange name, does more because we know more about it. 370 miles on electricity, 429 horsepower, that's legit. The steering wheel disappears. So if you want to have a gin and tonic like that one user apparently does, you can do it. Well, I don't know if you can do it, but the car will steer itself. Yeah. So that's a pretty strong case, I think, for that vehicle.
Yeah, I picked the Mitsubishi. It's more of a driver's car. It's got 3 electric motors, so it's got all-wheel drive with super all-wheel control, something Mitsubishi does well.
Sure.
And it has neat technology where it sort of changes its performance based on your driving skill. So as you become a better driver, it sort of unlocks more performance. And it has coaching, so it sort of teaches you how to drive it well. I think that this is really good for the Mitsubishi brand. They're trying to make a comeback, and I think bringing a crossover, an electric crossover, could be pretty popular.
When we talk about niches here in the U.S., I think that's how Mitsubishi could win. You roll out an Evo, you sell it, maybe start like California and on the coasts, build up some brand awareness again for your brand. Yeah, I mean, I would totally look at that if I were in the market for a crossover a few years down the road when everything's electric. You've got this thing that looks sweet. You might bring in all these new customers because even the Evo people who are literally crying right now about this, they're going to be like, well, I'm going to go look at it at least and just see what it is. So it's one of those things you can't even look away from.
And I drove the Outlander PHEV recently, and I was pretty impressed with it. Basically, it wins by default because there isn't another PHEV crossover that's affordable. So,
exactly.
But yeah, I think bringing this segment in, that could really help lift the Mitsubishi brand. They've been having a tough time in the U.S., and they're finally back on upswing, and I think this could help them keep that momentum.
I do think the IMX, though, was overall the better just reveal at the show. I think it had so many cool features, and I don't really know what this means for Nissan, but it got my attention. It was really cool looking. I liked the design, even though the design was a bit busy. I think for a concept, they pulled it all together. One of my favorite features here is the infotainment. Hand gestures like in the BMW 7 Series, but it also apparently has eye monitoring.
Right.
So you could do this and go from E Street Radio to classic rock, or sports or POTUS or whatever you listen to on Satellite XM.
Yeah, it seems like a little bit of a party trick and sort of gimmicky to me. But
well, literally, I just roll my eyes to this and I just change the channel. But that's why I think it's better. I don't think we're going to agree on this one, but two pretty cool vehicles, and yeah, I mean, I think it's just those two vehicles I think did kind of sum up the show though. Yeah. Crossovers, electric, sort of whiz bang technology, and just cool stuff.
Yeah, one focused on the driving experience, one focused on the autonomous tech. So two different approaches there, but yeah, they're both important, and they were both featured at this show. The drivers' cars and not drivers' cars, riders' cars.
Exactly. And they both, I think, got a lot of attention for their brands, which is what concepts should do.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I think there's nothing else left to do but tell you who our actual winners are. These are the Autoblog editors' picks. We do these for every major auto show. We hope you like them. If you don't, please weigh in on the comments. Hit us up on Facebook, on Twitter. Yeah, let us know what you think the best car at the show was. The way it works is every editor gets 25 points to distribute to no more than 5 vehicles. And the maximum amount of points you can give to a single vehicle is 10 points. The rules are that it has to be a global debut. So you can't pick something that was shown in Frankfurt or Detroit or whatever. You've got to pick an auto show debut. And otherwise it's pretty straightforward. Vote for what you like. You know? And it was actually a close race this year. We're going to go in reverse order. Top 5. Coming in at 5th place was the Yamaha Cross Hub. I was pretty happy to see that get there. It had 10 points, which actually was a pretty distant 5th
Yeah.
Did you vote for it?
I did not, no.
No, that's why it had 10
not on my
points.
list, yeah.
I was happy to see it get there just because, like I said, I really liked this truck. It was one of those like vehicles that when the smoke sort of clears from an auto show and you go back and you're looking at all the pictures, this is the one thing that at first I was like, eh. Then I looked at it, I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
This is what I want. So yeah, 5th place goes to the Yamaha truck. Very cool looking. 4th place, this is where things get a lot closer. With 21 points is the Mazda Vision concept. That's the big swoopy coupe. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it looks like an Aston Martin to me.
Okay.
But yeah, really attractive. I love the long hood, the gentle lines. Very good looking car.
It got a lot of points. If you're curious, a little inside baseball here. I'll leave the editors nameless, but the people who liked it gave it a lot of points, and then a few people just left it off their ballot entirely. I think by Mazda having 2 different concepts, it kind of split the votes, and perhaps it distributed points, and they cannibalized each other a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, this was a design concept. It wasn't. It didn't have a lot of, there was a little bit of technology, but I left it off my list. I just wasn't, I thought it was beautiful, but other than that, I wasn't really impressed.
So we're not going to give anything away here, but there is another Mazda concept that we talked a lot about. It might be coming up a little bit later. Like John, I had some issues with this one and didn't give it any points either, as I look at it. 3rd place goes to the Subaru Visiv Performance concept. Beautiful car. I love it. You guys know I love it. But yeah, it had 25 points, so comfortably in 3rd place, and a lot of people like it. This was actually the only vehicle, including the winner, that every editor named on their ballot in some form.
Yeah, yep.
Widely popular.
I think I put it right about in the middle of my ballot. So.
Yeah, I actually, I'll break some protocol here. I gave it the most points. I gave it 9 points. What protocol? I can announce the points. It's cool, but for me to give a vehicle 10 points in these votings, it's got to be like the mid-engine Corvette or like a new Ferrari. So when I give something 9 points, though, that's pretty aggressive. And for me, it was like this was a vehicle I was really going to get psyched about.
Yeah. I don't think I gave anything a full 10 points.
You gave it, or you did not give it. You did not give anything 10 points, but you did give this 2 points.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool. 2nd place, and this is where it's very close. You guys gotta let the suspense build. With 35 points in 2nd place was the Honda Sports EV.
Again, it's a good-looking car, I think, and yeah, it's a little brother to the urban EV we saw at Frankfurt. I put it at the top of my ballot.
You did?
I
did?
Yeah, I thought it was, you can't really tell if it's going to be fun to drive. I imagine it will, because, Honda. But
yeah, we hope it's rear wheel. We don't know.
Yeah, but I think it's just the idea that EVs can be sporty and look like that. That's why I picked it.
I agree. I think it looks great. I actually didn't vote for it, but I think it looks great. I really like what they're doing. I hope they build it. No offense to this concept. I think for me it was, I really like the urban EV from the Frankfurt.
Yeah, that was cool.
I just couldn't get behind like back-to-back concepts like this as far as my voting. I mean, outside of points distribution, which, maybe you don't care about that, I think they're both awesome concepts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't ready to give my vote to yet another Honda concept after I really liked the other one.
Fair enough.
So if you're voting at home, that's why we did it. And without further ado, the winner getting 38 points. So it was very close. 3 points could have gone either way. The Mazda Kai.
Yep. Again, it's a design thing. This is a car that you pick because it looks good, I think, and because it's pretty realistic. It could become the next Mazda 3. I left it off my list, though.
That's interesting.
Again, I wasn't judging solely on design, but I think that's why a lot of people pick this one.
Exactly. It was. I gave it my 2nd most points, 7. I was a big fan of this vehicle. A lot of people gave it a considerable amount of points. Everybody except John, apparently, but almost everybody else gave it significant points. So 38 points for the Mazda Kai. Basically, Mazda, build this thing. Make it the Mazda 3. Give it a nice interior. It's pretty awesome. That's Autoblog's #1 editor's pick. It's our best in show. Pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that'll do it for this special live edition of the Autoblog, our live shows here. We hope you enjoyed it. Please follow up with us, give us some questions, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of these winners. It's been a lot of fun. I love auto shows. It's a good time of the year for that.
Yeah, head to the website. We've got a roundup of all the stuff from the show, and leave comments. We want to know what you think.
Yeah, so, and who knows, we might read them on the air. That's John Snyder. This has been a special Autoblog live edition. For Autoblog, I'm Greg Migliori.